Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based gacha game made by the developers of Genshin Impact. Whether you're new to the Honkai franchise like I am, or you're a gacha game veteran, everybody can use a little help at times. This video is meant to be an easy-to-consume guide for starting Honkai Star Rail. This video won't go over everything in the game, but it will allow you to enjoy it without falling too far behind. I can't wait to make more content for this game, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to be kept up to date. Now, I know it sounds cliche, but the most important thing is having fun. If you take the game too seriously, it'll become a chore and nobody wants to do more chores. I know a lot of you are coming to Star Rail having played Genshin Impact before, so I'm gonna quickly go over terms from Genshin and their Star Rail counterparts. As you'd expect, these two games have a lot of similarities, seeing as they're made by the same company. Here are some Genshin terms translated into their Honkai counterparts. Trailblazer level is your adventure rank, your equilibrium level is your world level, light cones are your weapons, super imposition is your refinement level, relics are artifacts, Eidolon is constellations, Cavern of Corrosion is artifact domains, Stagnant Shadow is the open world bosses, Echo of War are weekly bosses, Forgotten Hall are Spiral Abyss, Stellar Jade are your primo gems, and the most important part for any gacha game, warping are your wishes. There are a ton of other similar terms, but this is a great place to get you started and will give you a good understanding of the game. A mechanic that you need to learn in Star Rail is weakness breaking. Different enemies have different weaknesses, and learning and utilizing these will be the key to completing later game content, especially when the game gets harder. Now, when you play a gacha game, everybody wants to collect the characters, and in Star Rail, there are different ways to get them. Some will be given out through the story or events, but typically you're going to have to spend your warps on these things called banners. Banners are essentially the pool of available items that players can roll on. Thanks for the definition, Wiki. Rolling is spending your wishes to get a character. Just think of it like rolling a dice, and if you get the number you want, you get the character you want. Except the odds are a lot lower here. Typically in these games, there will be three types of banners. There's the standard banner, which is a consistent banner that is always available. The limited banner, there are usually two of these, and they'll rotate the featured character every patch or every 2 weeks depending. And finally, there's the weapon banner, which also rotates alongside the limited banner, giving you access to unique weapons, usually pertaining to the characters. Now this is really important, so please listen carefully. Typically, you only should be spending your currency on the limited banner or saving it for an upcoming limited character. You'll get a bunch of free warps that are specific for the standard banner over time, so make sure to spend your currency on limited characters. When you warp on a limited banner, you have a chance to get the standard banner characters, meaning over the course of your account's life, you're going to just get these characters eventually, so be sure to save your warps for the limited banner. Trust me, you will thank yourself later. On top of this, never spend your warps on the light cone banner unless you're spending real money. There are some situations where this isn't true, but it's almost always not going to be worth it, and you should just be wishing for characters or their constellations. Speaking of characters, like the majority of gacha games, there are a ton of characters to collect, and unless you spend real money, you're going to have to choose which characters you get. When you first make your account, you can do what players refer to as re-rolling. This is essentially making new accounts over and over again, and then spending the free currency you're given at the start of the game to try to get a character you want from the limited banner. If you're going to do this, it's really good to do it on launch, as they'll be giving players a lot of free wishes, and you can use these to try to get who you want. I really suggest doing this if you want a specific character or just a better, well-rounded account, but if you're just here for the fun of it, it can be very draining, so don't do it unless you're ready to commit. I, for one, am pretty lazy, so I know I'm not going to be re-rolling, but if you think it's your kind of thing, you should definitely go ahead. Your character builds will vary greatly depending on your team composition and character choices. I would suggest looking at builds and guides for your character of choice in case you want to optimize them. Be sure to read guides that are new, because things might become outdated and things might change as time goes on, so be careful and make sure to validate your information. Good general advice is to work towards building multiple characters of different types so you have teams for different situations, such as farming, bossing, or even just your preferred playstyle. I, for one, am going to have a bunch of different teams with hot dudes and girls, and I cannot wait. I cannot stress enough how important this next tip is. If you take one thing away from the video, it should probably be this. You need to be using your Trailblazer power and making sure that it isn't full. This is the equivalent of your resin in Genshin, and some players honestly take this a bit too seriously and treat it like a job, which can lead to a fast burnout. But you need to be spending this as frequently as you can if you want to build your account. This will let you get materials, upgrades, currency, and you just need to be using it as much as you can. The XP that you get from doing this is insane, so be sure to be doing this alongside your daily missions as much as possible. Finally, when you have your team built, you want to start looking ahead. By doing some research online and keeping up to date with upcoming patches, you'll find out when upcoming characters that you may want will release, allowing you to pre-farm their materials or anything else you may need. Aside from the important tips above, basic RPG things will apply, such as side quests being important and exploration always being relevant. Complete events as they become available for a lot of free stuff, and be sure to follow content creators like myself or the Star Rail socials to learn about upcoming characters, events, and things coming to the game. Now these will be good tips to let you hit the ground running, although the game has a ton more depth to it than this. I definitely recommend going in a little blind so that you can still enjoy the game, but make sure to put as much research in as you want, and you will be set to enjoy Honkai Star Rail to the fullest. If you enjoyed this guide, please be sure to subscribe, as I will be making a ton more in the future alongside all of my other Star Rail content. Now be safe out there, and I'll see you on the spaceship, gamers. I can't wait to see you back here. Until next time.